Marketing is a means to an end. And the end is the growth of the business in a profitable way.
We have 5 new pieces of creative. And so I said, what if we did this?
No bidding strategy is going to cure a bad business model.
That's very true. This is where it's really crazy.
Welcome to the Ad Lab, cooking up chaos in the performance kitchen here with John Moran. I still love that intro.
I know, it's so good.
So
Every single Friday, it just gets me just pumped.
It gets me jacked. All jacked up. Like I was watching the Patriots last night.
Oh, there you go.
I know.
I have not been
like good.
I have not been a sports fan for like the longest time. In my brain, I'm just like, wait a minute. So like you hated this quarterback, but now he's on your team. So you like the quarterback? I can't keep up.
Yeah, I know. It's true. I remember I used to make references to sports all the time. I'd say something about football. He's like I'd be like, hey, the Super Bowl is this weekend. It's like it's in Glendale. It's like right in your backyard. He's like, yeah, I don't really follow golf. He was the funniest. He's a pretty funny dude.
It's kind of like what was it? The water boy. Like, I don't play foosball.
I don't play the foosball. Oh man, we're cooking up some good stuff here, though. It's not just crack, meth, cocaine, all the other sorts of illicit drugs. We're cooking up performance here.
Yeah, we actually have some good data to talk about too.
Data, yeah, always good to have a good water boy reference on a Friday. Maybe Adam Sandler movie. Good movie quotes, but good stuff.
Right.
Like,
I am gonna just swap Wi-Fi connections.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. I'm very slow here. I'm gonna connect it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just tee it up for us here. So John and I do our weekly one-on-ones right before this, which actually helps to plan a little bit. It's not really like me to be able to really plan, because the vast majority of like the podcast episodes I've ever done, we've done 770 perpetual traffics episodes. I think a handful of those I actually had meetings like prior to discuss like what we were going to talk about. So it's like when we actually have a call before this, I'm like, wow, we're so organized, because usually it's like completely off the cuff. So today we're getting into some, and this is something I can't wait to show our creative team, because this is something that you discovered about the dissonance, or perhaps the harmony between creative and ad copy. And then also maybe a little bit of an example. We'll show a sneak peek of an account that we're working on here that is in very, very early stages. And we have not done first click CAPI imports. And it'd be very interesting, I think, for people to see exactly what those results are. So the first one here is creative diversification, obviously. We'll get into exactly that. Just to remind you, and I don't know where my banner went, my pitch banner here.
Oh no.
Yeah. You can everything that we've talked about for the last 6 to 9 months is just like it's a big infomercial, really. It's just sell more stuff on the tier 11 side, which is fine.
It's free to the user, so it's sponsored by us.
Right. It's sponsored by us. Like, you're
going to get an in-stream ad every now and then on the podcast. It's just us.
It's us.
You're all digital marketers. You know how this works.
It's got to be a pitch somewhere. Can't just give away free stuff all the time. And we give away 80-90% of the stuff that we do. There's some things that we just can't. We can't show everything, but we try and be as transparent as humanly possible on the show here. Hey,
we teach you the why, but not almost exactly the hows.
Yeah. So figure out how to do it on the how. If you can't figure it out, hire us. And so that's the reason why we have this promotion going on right now through the end of the year. We've already sold, I believe 6 of them so far. So we had 11. We really don't have that much capacity. We're not hiring a ton of new creative people through the end of the year, but in 2026, we will certainly be doing that. But here's the deal. You buy the creative diversification strategy, all the stuff that we've been talking about here, 30 plus creatives per month, very diverse, at least 80% difference between them, and then iterations on the best performing, which isn't necessarily the ones that look the best inside the ad platform, which we're going to show on today's show a bit. And you get iterations of those 5 to 7 per week. That's the creative diversification strategy that we're offering. So you buy that, but you get the media buying world-class media buying, and headed up by our chief strategist here, John Moran. Not necessarily done by him, but all your disciples within the Tier 11 ecosystem.
Yep.
And you get Tier 11 Data Suite, which incorporates CAPI imports, first click CAPI imports, which we're going to be talking about here today. So that is over at tier11.com/CD. I am ending my pitch right now, but I might pitch it here just because I can't help myself. Let's get right into the content. This is a really cool test. I think you guys did you stumble on this, or was it just something? Tell me a little bit of the background of this organization, how you kind of came to these conclusions we're going to be talking about here today.
Yeah, so we have a company that has a fairly high spend account, so over 6 figures per month. And so that is in the Andromeda framework, which means one campaign, one ad set, all creatives. Following along with that creative diversification playbook that Meta has produced that we have already shared here, and an SOP also that we've already shared here, we are following along with that creative iterations. Now, we had our video 1, which was a short video in a vertical format that was mostly inside of Reels, inside of Meta. And we noticed that that one was getting a lot of ad spend and our top line looked really, really good. So we made version 2, we made version 3, we made version 4. Now, the only thing that we didn't do in version 4 that we did with the other 3 is we used a more generic primary text. The reason why is we're breaking out our audiences based on different industries. So right now, our main focus is in the healthcare industries. Primarily, the avatar or our archetype is a middle-aged female who is looking to go to back to school or going to school for the first time for a nursing degree. Now, the reason why that's important is because that's who we have been talking to, because that was our largest amount of existing customers. So we said, okay, let's just continue to try to go along that same route. Let's not try to change the structure of the company. Let's just try to double down on what is working. So we've been doing that since about middle of September, and it's been working very, very well. By using this framework, we have increased our annual, actually, you know what? Let's just do it this way. This might even be better just to see this here. I'll just start sharing screen, as this will probably help everyone follow along. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen here. Okay. So we started this new campaign in this account here, and that campaign started this date range here. So it was September 7th. So beginning of September. And what I mean by that is if we just go back, I'm just going to actually open up this one here. I'm just going to go over, I'm going to see if I can open up a new, I can't. Anyway, we're just going to go back to the other case study here afterwards. But this campaign here has been running, if we look at the entirety of this since, if we look at September 1st through this time period here, we have been increasing our ad spend. We started at about $350 a day. Now we're up to about $2,500, $2,600 per day. New customers have increased here. This is all heading in the right direction. Now
nice
that
trends.
That one was started after
NVIDIA stock chart.
I know, right? And we're actually moving out of our original one that we started back in September 8th. And this one was tracking the first click checkouts. So we said, hey, the checkouts are now turning into conversions. So let's wean ourselves off the checkouts and push ourselves into conversions. Yippee skippy. Yep. Since then, that was September 8th. That is September 7th. This is that week. And since then, our annual growth year over year is 23% for these last 8 weeks. We have the previous 8. We were actually averaging about 0.5% better annually. So we went from a growth factor of 0.5% to a growth factor of 23% in the last 2 months. Now,
pretty darn good.
Right. And in doing so, the only thing that we did differently on this last video, and I know this is in a small font, so let me just increase the font here. If I do edit and I do font, and then let's make it for people who wear contacts like me. And there we go. So, right. Yeah. Well, what we noticed actually before we show this, what we notice here is that each time we've launched a new iteration, it picked up. Now we have done this case study here before. This is the same case study we've already talked about, but we have add A. Once we add in the next add B, add A kind of decays and B goes bigger. We added C went bigger. Then we added D. D started to get tested, failed, went back to C. So our D iteration didn't work. It was tested, then failed. And so the people that are in the creative department said that watch the spend levels. So they are already in tune with what they need to create next. They said, hey, we did a 4th iteration, but it doesn't look like spend's going to it. And I said, well, did we do anything different? They said, yeah, actually, because we're breaking into other industries, military personnel, and then also more gen ed, we made it a little bit more kind of a softer, non-nursing specific language. And the headline that we used initially was, if college is your goal, Straighterline makes it possible, flexible, affordable, prereq courses that save you thousands to help you get to school sooner. So really nothing about nursing too much. Now, in the iteration that we just updated,
or any of the other ones, like it's not just nursing here. It's prereqs for gen ed, right?
Okay. And so then we said, okay, now we switched to if
not
nursing
e-commerce, by the way, because this is a question we get all the time.
Yeah.
I seem to get this a lot. It's like, you guys always talk about all these strategies based on e-commerce. This is not e-commerce.
Well, yeah, whether it's e-commerce or not, I don't see it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter. Just wanted to state that.
Okay. One, you have to pick up the phone and take your credit card. The other one, they put in the credit card online.
Right.
Same thing. So that's
what I'm still buying.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there's no SKU list, but we haven't talked about anything on, I don't even use DPA ads or PLA ads or anything, obviously, inside of Meta, because that just goes way too warm remarketing. So it's not even part of our strategy, really. Yep. So whether we're running e-commerce or lead gen, it's the same ad. I mean,
another question we get a lot,
video,
by the way, and a lot of our comments, a lot of our questions is, do you guys use DPA ads in creative diversification? And the answer is
no, not in our standard practice. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, yeah, and cost capping, because we want to focus on the people that we've already harvested and planted. Or sorry, we already focused on the people that we planted. Now we have to harvest them. Right. So that's where you have cost caps to focus, and then
harvest
you have
after you plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like we planted the people, and then when you add a TCPRT row as a cost cap, it means focus on what you know, which means the things that you've already been growing, the warm traffic. And then after you run a sale and DPA ad, those are a creative type and an offer. Remember, we got pain point, hook, and offer, and all of your things in your concept. The new concept is sale. The creative is going to be sale. The media buying changes would have to be a cost cap or bid cap or TCPA or whatever it may be. T-ROAS, just name your channel and name your restriction. But then, yes, I will, because those do not scale and they focus on really warm traffic. I want that for a sale. Sure. But I don't want that if I'm trying to grow new prospecting. I don't want to do remarketing of existing users when I'm trying to prospect. It's the wrong
customer acquisition. Exactly.
Bingo.
Right. So getting back to the example here, just sort of a little bit of a sidelight there, but
sidebar.
I answered like 20 questions on that this morning, by the way, on YouTube. But anyway, go ahead.
I will go down any ADD side quest you want to go on. I'll follow you. So
that's good. And then you come right back, I noticed. Like I forget, like, what were we talking about? No, but you remember.
Right. So we changed it to, if nursing's your goal, the Straighterline makes it possible, flexible, affordable nursing prerequisites, save $1,000 to help you get into nursing school sooner. This is now going back to the primary text in the ad that we have similar on similar ads, but they're talking about the prerequisite. Now, when we look inside of the view history here of this ad, this one, let me just do the full date range here. So 9th through the 14th. We started the ad on the 10th and it was live on the 10th. We had the 10th, then we had the 11th, and then nothing happened on the 10th and the 11th. And we're like, okay, usually this thing, you add in ad spend and it has like $500 day one. And it had $2 day one, $2 day two. We're like, okay, something's wrong here. And then the other ad iteration C, or number 3, the third one, which is the one before this one right here, started creeping back up in spend. So we're like, okay, obviously it's not taking the iteration. So I said, this would be an amazing case study, is if we change the primary text and this ad takes off. So we changed the primary text on the 12th, which is what we know. So if we look at the history, the ad change happened on the 12th at 7:35 a.m.
Okay.
So if we look at the 12th and 14th compared to the previous period, this went from $7 in spend to now $511. It increased the ad spend 7,000% in 2 days, including today. Like, this is live while we're doing it. The
new ad, or you edited the existing
right?
Okay. Another important point there, because a lot of people would say, well, that resets the learning. Well, it really actually doesn't.
Watch this.
Yeah.
This is day one, $3.
That is not resetting learning. That is Meta going, oh my God. Oh, you want me to target nursing people?
Right. Right. So it's like day one that usually has, now when we look at, like, let's just look at another one here that we know that we were in pretty hard with. I think this is, which one is this? That's Robino 1. Let's look at Robino 2. If we look at Robino, what's this one? Robino 3. Here's a good one. Last 30 days here. Look at day one spend on Robino number 3, $155. Typically, as soon as you add in a new iteration, it's like, boom, it has great spend on day one. This is the third iteration of an old video and it still had $155. Now, we've already kind of moved on to other pieces of creative. This is the James 1. Let me do this. Reese 2. Reese 2 day one had higher amount of ad spend, then I started to whittle it down. But we just didn't really do as well as Reese 1. So it was odd for this one to have the day one $3, day two $3. On the 12th, the morning of the 12th at 7:30 a.m., it was updated with the new primary text says, yes, this is the audience that we're still trying to go after. Can you please go after the audience that we want? And Meta's AI at the time said, well, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me. So we said, okay, let's update the primary ad text. And then on day 3, which was the actual day of the change, it went from $3 and spend to 88. The next day it went up to 295. And today we're at 130.75. Let's just do a real quick refresh. 130.75. Today we're at 131. So it's still, I just built this thing like 19 minutes ago, so still spending. But that's what's nice is now this thing is actually starting to spend. The number of conversions went from none on day 1, none on day 2, and then 3 on the third day of the change, and then 6 the day after the day of the change. And so far today, it's only 2:50 in the afternoon. It's only 11:50 on the West Coast. We're already at 4. So it does seem that when we are building out our creative is going to be for 2 groups of people now. One, Meta first, really. We have to tell them what we're going to be trying to get out to our audiences. And then B, or 2, you then have to make the ad for the audience themselves. Right. So you have a gatekeeper. You have a bouncer now at the nightclub. Used to be you just walk in and start talking to the bartender. Yeah. Now you gotta pass the bouncer, and the bouncer's like, hey, if you show me your ID, otherwise you're gonna get bounced. So your ID is, this is your creative, your ad copy, your titles, or your primary text, your descriptions, your images, the ad copy itself in the video format in terms of having it on the screen, plus in the closed captioning. All of the creative that you have now, your targeting is done even all the way at the primary text. So for everyone out there using Grok to write your primary text and just saying that looks good enough, you could be killing your ads on day 1 and not even knowing it.
Yeah. So I'm going to summarize this a bit. So maybe we can show the ad itself, the video itself, and then compare it to the copy that was not that was not specific to that video. So the video of this woman, this UGC ad, talks about nursing. She mentions nursing. She's a content creator, but the copy was not consistent with the nursing message. It was more a generalized educational ad copy. As soon as you made the 2 of those in harmony, you had ad copy that was about nursing and a video that's about nursing. Boom. It all of a sudden just took off.
Yep, and that's kind of what we saw here.
Accurately, yes.
And I wish I had the previous version. You can actually see. Okay. I copied and pasted it here because this was from our internal notes. I can't get the before. It just says ad updated. I was like, So I got the copy from our team.
Close enough, though. But this was kind of the copy. It was like it was just college is your goal, not specific to nursing, not specific to anything, and obviously, providing some kind of solution. But anyway, the point is like we don't have the original ad copy, but it wasn't as specific to nursing.
Well, I mean, it's there. It's on the screen. It's up at the top in the notepad. But what you can see is now the actual ad, it says if nursing's your goal, and that's where it wrenches. So it used to say if college is your goal. Now it says if nursing your goal. AI took that as these are 2 different people. You want people that want to go to college. You want people that want to be nurses.
But it's almost like Meta was confused because it's like, well, your ad copy says this generalized audience, so maybe I should show it to them. But your video says a more specific audience. And so it just wasn't connecting. It's like when you have harmony between the ad copy and the creative, and that's the big message here. It's like you have to look at everything. Everything is a signal to Meta.
Right. All right. So it's like, remember how like we used to do like old one, we used to pre-qualify users, be like, attention truck drivers. We're like, got rid of everyone else now. Right. It's kind of like that again.
Dog whistle call out. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So it's very interesting how you have to write and what's so funny is it makes so much sense because Meta's position, I would imagine in their think tank when they're thinking about this before they spent the $64 billion or somewhere in there in between was, well, if AI could understand it, a person in the feed could understand it. Like if AI says, oh, I know that is who that's meant for, like you can have symmetry between AI understanding that this is trying to attract a specific person. And so the actual specific person would say, hey, this makes sense to me. So it's almost like that's your gatekeeper is if you can convince AI that you're trying to go after this specific audience and continually iterate on those specific audiences, the SOP that calls for a same concept but different hook and different offer, this is in the hook area, but your hook may not even land on the same audience if your hook isn't similar enough for AI to understand who you're going after, but different enough to test a different iteration. Right. It's really cool.
That's really cool. But do you know how much Meta plans on spending on AI in 2027?
I missed the earnings call. I know their stock's been. I mean, I'm waiting for a swing, but I haven't actually looked into it yet.
I mean, stock market can't go up forever, but I mean, yeah, we're in a little bit of a correction right now as of this recording. $115 billion.
Oh, are you trying to buy more NVIDIA? Or AMD, but it's true. I mean, that's the thing is people are like, hey, they spent 150. They plan to spend. You said 150.
Yeah,
they've already spent 64.
64 that went up to 72 on the.
Oh my god!
Call.
So all right, so
61 to 71 billion they project in 2025 in the last earnings call.
So
71
wait,
billion.
Was that 12-figure number?
So 12-figure number.
Well, 100 and something billion.
115 billion. Is that 12 figures?
Is that 12 figures? 115.
I can't even do the math. It's like such a staggering amount.
That is 12 figures.
12 figures.
So they're spending 12 figures on this. Now, I hope that's a wake-up call for media buyers out there too. If you spend 12 figures on something, it seems like that's the area they want to go.
Well, like you kind of have to follow the smart money here to a certain degree. It's like this. We did a perpetual traffic episode, 2-part perpetual traffic episode on this. Check it out over on our YouTube channel if you want to do that as well. The point is like we went through all of this. Like, why are all these tech companies? Why are the FANG companies or the Magnificent Seven or whatever you want to call them? Why are they spending so much on this? Mm-hmm. And if you have that much investment in it, the money tells you like that's a serious investment. The problem is like Zucker even said this on the earnings call. He's like, we are actually in a deprived state of compute, words to that effect. He's like, we don't even have enough. That's why we're building these data centers like it's going out of style because of this kind of thing. Because they know this is the moneymaker. Advertising is the moneymaker. We're just the benefits of all of that. Mm-hmm. But all of that extra compute power, and then NVIDIA continues to increase its GPU capacity. I mean, obviously, we're all seeing it with Chat GPT, 5 now. So the point is like this stuff ain't going anywhere. This is only going to get better and better and better. And we're seeing it now with this ad algorithm today. And this is clear evidence that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're not dummies. That's for sure. And I do believe that there is I do believe that this is going to get more and more and more automated. And for people who are out there who are believing that we're going to have more targeting and editing capabilities inside of our technical media buying set, I would disagree. I think this is going to get more and more automated. And if we're not at the tippy top edge of the leveraging of that automation and really dissecting it, reverse engineering and finding out how it works so that we can leverage it to the best of our abilities to scale customers and clients and businesses, you're not necessarily, you're unemployed. Really. I mean, it's imagine like a doctor who just didn't attend seminars or continuous education anymore. And so the advancements in brain surgery are now 3 years past. And it's like, no. Got my old trusty, hammer and chisel. I'll get that sucker out of there.
One day I'll get to it. Like that day is now. You need to adopt this now. His exact quote, I actually have it. We are running in a compute-starved state, even though they're spending $71 billion in 2025. That's
so
unbelievable.
Cool. Yeah.
So anyway, good for the stock market, obviously.
Exactly.
A lot of people have questions as whether or not we're in a bubble, but the internet bubble lasted 5 years. We're only in like the 3-year mark right now. So we've got quite a ways to go, I would think.
It's funny, the dot-com bubble was 60x for PE and with no profit. We're in a 35x for PE with more profit than the Wall Street's ever seen. So I don't think there's a bubble. It's a bubble, but it's a justifiable bubble.
It's justifiable with actual earnings.
You're on the cusp of, is this revolutionary to the market or is it just a bubble? And I think we're leaning more towards it's revolutionary. I think that we're going to have to rethink about how forward PE works.
Yeah. Well,
So, but
PE
that's
is
what I'm
price
saying.
earnings ratio. That's how obviously non-stock market people, that's how companies are evaluated. But back in the internet bubble days in the 2000s when it all topped
all
out,
hype.
it was all hype because most of these companies didn't have any earnings. I mean, there were a lot, but
Like eBay, you can sell stuff online. Here's $1 billion.
yeah,
You know,
Amazon wasn't even profitable. Remember that?
they're selling books.
Can you even think about that right now? It's just crazy.
That's a good marketing lesson for everyone out there. The reason why Amazon started selling books is because wow, I can't remember the guy's name now at Amazon. The
Jeff Bezos.
Bezos was said, well, what is something that people buy at their house so that they usually buy more than like 3 or 4 of? And they said, oh, books. People that buy books buy 10 to 15 books like annually. So they're like, let's sell books because LTV's there.
Smart.
So this makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think it's amazing how this is working. And actually it gives us so much less control, but so much more control, because if we think about all the stuff that us digital marketers kind of like had these wild and crazy ideas, we're like, if someone on Tuesday clicks this ad and then looks at a TV set on Thursday, then their kid's name must be Fred. Like it just became so ridiculous that we were underutilizing Facebook. Now it's like, hey, if you're going to want to scale with cold traffic, new customers, new visitors, new eyeballs, new leads, whatever it is, you have to refine your sales process to an organic audience. And there's millions, hundreds of millions of people out there within Meta that you can attract with this audience or with your offer. But it's not up to you to tell me who they are. It's up to me to decide if you deserve them.
Yeah.
And that's now the change that we have to adapt to. And I think it's actually much more exciting because as long as you're having a good company with good marketing practices to grow, you do your segmentation and your offers in email and SMS and free networks. You don't have to do that inside of Meta. You shouldn't pay for that traffic if you already have those users. You can reach out to them in any other way. You even, if you're desperate, go to App 11. They still have some people that see ads on Candy Crush. Who knows?
Love it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, this is a great example of yet another discovery that we found that is leveraging this 72 billion or whatever, 71 billion. Sorry, get my numbers straight. What's a billion between friends, really?
Whatever. I mean, that's only like a 7-figure number, or
It's
8
only a
or
7
like
or
9-figure.
8, 9 figure. That's a 9-figure number.
Yeah, that's a 9-figure.
It's
God,
crazy.
12 figures.
Unbelievable.
That's like government spending.
That's just like, and it's all from the profits that they make from our ads, like the ads that we're running right now.
It's
All
so
the
funny. That's all
spend.
the money that we've given them, attempted to try to target our own people, and they're just laughing at us.
I know.
Oh, that's great.
So true. So anyway, so this is yet another example of creative diversification. Yet another like really interesting thing. Make your ad copy and your creative consistent with each other. Give Meta that very, very specific signal, especially if you're going after a niche within a niche. Like in your case, you're talking about people wanting to get sort of that next level of education, but nursing, make your nursing ad. I forget exactly how many different offers this company has, but like that's the takeaway from today, I think.
Yeah. It's like that's how we have to think about things too. And it was fun. What's nice is this is like lead gen and e-commerce focus at the same time.
Right.
Where if you're like a lead gen, I want to have people who are looking to hire a fleet of trucks, and you're doing that for like 3 or 4 months. You're like, okay, awesome. Now I want to go after the people that may need a fleet of trailers. Okay, this is pivotal now. Like you're taking a heavily targeted, heavily pixeled, heavily known tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people. And you're going to say, okay, now change. Like it is that much of a big, you can launch a new campaign and you can do a much different creative. Absolutely. But everything that you did to get your first original avatar developed, scaled, and profitable, you're now, you reset the clock starting off on another campaign. Your other campaign here will still work well because we've identified that if we're in that campaign and we're telling Meta that we should be still speaking to those same users, it will run.
Yeah.
Now we have another campaign type that is actually for military members, and we have military copy DD214 mentions, like all the stuff that the AI should understand. This is for military members. We just started that like 2 days ago. So
And the audience
just
does.
yet. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. The audience knows.
Make the algorithm understand it. Make your audience understand it.
Yeah.
There's your two things.
Exactly. I went to the bouncer and said, I want to go to that place instead now. And I have the credentials to do so.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not going to get you water now that you're inside. I'm going to actually give you like a nice, vodka tonic or whatever it is.
There you go.
That's really good stuff. Do we have time to
do a little sneak preview of the other one?
Yeah, a little sneak preview. This is one that we're working on, and we're not quite there yet. I think a lot of people ask, I'll sort of tee this one up, is what happens when you don't have CAPI imports or first click CAPI imports? And maybe we can explain that just a bit more to people, because that's always sort of a question that we get in the comments. But point is like we haven't done it yet, and we're already starting to see sort of the platform and the back end starting to diverge now. But it's very, very early days, and this is something that a project that we're pretty excited about.
Yeah, and I'm getting everything all set up here for the screen shares. I had to use that window. There we go. Okay, and one last button. Perfect. Okay, so this is what we see. Again, we have a limited time, so we want to get to Q&A, but I'm gonna paraphrase the backstory. New company that we're working with that we set up on the Andromeda framework, because you can see they were trying to do like tofu, mofu, bofu, all the other stuff, and nothing was working at all.
Right. Old school way of doing it. Separate out the campaigns based upon traffic depth.
Yeah. And what's funny is that it wasn't even that long ago that this was happening. So we said, hey, this is not necessarily how this should work. We need to launch it to the Andromeda model and then move in from there. So this is a campaign that's already been running for about 2 weeks. And our ENCAC went from $77 down to like $23. Like we were nailing it. And we said, okay, we'd like to scale. And I said, perfect. If we want to scale now that we have our creative is very well diversified. We're using 40 different ads, like perfect, but we're kind of stuck in learning, as you can tell. Now, this is hard, because when I say that the data that Meta sees is for Meta, it is not for us. And this couldn't be more true in this sense right here, that the data that Meta sees, the CAPI imports that we give Meta, is not for us. We are the smart people here. We are saying, I'm going to grab a fragmented subsection of what you want to count, and I'm only going to allow you to count what I allow you to count. So if the CPA doesn't look right, I'm not the person panicking. No one should panic. It's made for Meta's algorithm. Now, when you don't have CAPI imports, we talked about like the afters, where it's went from bad, now went to good. This is went from good to stayed good, but now looks bad. It's really cool. So watch this. We are in an area here where if we look at the last kind of time period, this is, again, I mean, like $25 per day spend. I mean, we're not spending much at all. Like this is our first test of scale by trying to try to spend more than like $50 in a day kind of thing. So this campaign here that we're looking at has a total of $75 a day. We were spending 25, then went up to 50, and then we went up to 75, which is what the last scale is. So it's not like we're hemorrhaging cash. I mean, we're 272% more orders. Return customer rate is down 71%, which means a ton of new orders. We see Facebook going up 1,300%. We see Instagram go from 0 to now has some information. Long story short, this is what I love is after we launched the Andromeda model, our sessions changed 18%, but our conversion rate went up 296% for literally the last month straight. It's been fantastic. Good. Right. Everything's working well.
25 to 50 to $75 a day budgets here. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're exactly, because I didn't want to put too much ad spend in there, because if we put too much ad spend in now, it may start to veer off course. Well, we said, you know what, let's just do it. So we increased our ad spend 52% during this time period here from the 5th to the 11th. Now,
you also needed a little bit more creative. I think we started out a little bit more.
Yeah, we had 3 and then we just dumped 40. And that's what worked. Right. Yep. And so that one, the creative being expanded out to 40. I mean, we went back to like the archives of 2022 and pulled ads out there because we just needed to get creative in there. It's okay to start off with old ads if there's 40 of them. It's not okay to start off with any amount of new or old ads if you have like 4. You really want to have your diverse creative. That is structural to Meta's AI of understanding who you're trying to go after. If I just said, give me people who like to clean. Well, Meta's like, all right, shit. What? Clean the house, their butt crack, their car. What do you need? Clean what? And you're like, oh, yeah, house cleaning. You're like, okay.
Butt crack learnings are the best learnings that there are right there.
Yeah. I'm going to target that. I'm going to target people who use Squatty Potty by using butt crack in the primary text. But I was like, okay, so we need to have, we want people that do like washing machine and dishwashers. So I'm like, okay, now I understand. Like also clean floors. Like, aha. Now, so the more creative you get it, the more understands of who you're trying to go after, so it can go after them. Very, very simplistic. We're doing our targeting with our creative. We increased that to creative. Everything's going good. I said, hey, we're going to put, another $50 a day. So in the last 7 days, we spent 52% more. Now it was only $181. But the percentile is what's important. It's 52% increase in spend. This is where folks say, John, what is the amount of spend we should typically scale? And sometimes it's 10 a week and 20 a week. And sometimes, it's you never want to go over 22. And everyone has their golden rule. And it's because of this. We've made our golden rules off of shit data. This is the reason. If you increase by 52%, it looks like nothing happened. I mean, if you increase your cost 52% and your cost per result goes up 52%, that means you didn't make one more sale. Right. Not at all. Not one more returning, not one more new, nothing. And so when you look over here,
dead even.
6 went to 6. We should have had at least, if you have 6 sales and you increase your ad spend by 50%, you should see 9. You should have at least 3 more.
Right.
So let's do this. Well, let's go up to our new customers during this time period. 11.5.
That's what the ad platform is saying.
Yep,
However,
sorry, let me just do this here. October
on the
29th,
back end.
4th. Yeah, October. I don't know why this thing, October 29th. I don't know why this thing's all messed up. It should be the same thing. There you go. So from October 29th to 11/4, we had 15 customers. Now we're only really running Meta right now. So Meta still thinks we had 6, by the way, which is awesome.
Right.
So Meta thinks we have 6, we have 15. We increased ad spend $180 or 50%. And now Meta says we went from 6 to 6. Just our new customers went from 15 to 19. So remember I said, hey, if we're adding 50% more, we should see at least 3 more. We see 4 more. We do actually have 4 more. If we look up at the top line here, in that same date range, 5 to the 11th, compared to the previous period, our return customer rate went down 19%. So we actually lost some returning customers. That's fine, but we still increased our orders by 24%. Okay. Now, 24%, it was saying, hey, you have 6 more orders, 4 more are new. Okay, yes, it's probably targeting about a 60-30 split between returning customers and new customers. Like that's how it typically Meta works. What I was very, very, very happy about, and this is where we should focus a lot of time in our top line measurement, which is why I was okay. We have a 30% increase in sessions, but our conversion rate stayed the same. It dropped 3%. Now it didn't drop from like 6% down to 3%. That'd be a 50% drop. It literally went from like 1.9 to 1.89. I mean, it was basically the same thing. Right. So we said, hey, we gave Meta 50% more ad spend. It got 30% more new or 30% more visits, and our conversion rate stayed the same. Good. We can actually see, I don't know what button I pressed. We can actually see over here on the right-hand side too, in our analytics, 29% more add to cart sessions. Our add to carts went up 72%. Reach checkout went up 72%. 25% more completed. Excellent. Like everything is green. Google, social, everything went up, and it was all because we pushed more Facebook and Instagram traffic. That was it. But inside of here, my ENCAC is still under $40. We're still perfect. Remember, we were 73 when we started a month ago, and now we're scaling with a sub 40-ish, sub 30-ish. We're right around there.
Solid improvement.
Exactly. So ENCAC is great. We have our scale is great. Our creative diversification is great. The problem is everything is great, but Meta says no, everything is horrible. You gave me 50% more. No one else bought. Your ad campaigns aren't working. And now everything is still stuck in limited. Why is it stuck in limited? Because the data that it sees is missing. Right. How do you have a creative targeting when the creative says nothing is working? And that is the reason why we do need first click CAPI imports into an account, is because without it, you make all these anecdotal, pardon my French, stupid rules, really. It's like, well, you can't scale more than 50%. Meta says it sucks. Like, well, what does your bank account say? Well, we don't look at that. But that's the part where we have to look at this as from an ad spend, ENCAC, MER, top line perspective, yes. But I can't scale anymore. I actually have to delete this campaign and start a new campaign because I can't use a new conversion event in an old campaign. So the further I go down this rabbit hole, the farther I got to go back out and go further into the next rabbit hole. So that's why it's important to start this from the beginning.
So that's the reason why creative diversification is great on its own. However, it does get limited, especially in this particular case here. If you're feeding it back incorrect data, It's just trying to find any purchase, and it's modeling a bunch of that data that's inside the ad platform. But where your source of truth actually shows, you actually shows like everything's going in the right direction. The key is like linking those two together with first click CAPI imports. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Exactly right. And what's funny is even Meta's CPA is off. It's actually higher than what we're getting. And then when we scale it, it says things get worse when things get better. Like my ad spend and our in-platform metrics couldn't be further away from each other. And as I scale, they actually they diverge farther away from each other of what's happening versus what Meta's thinking. The problem is AI is in control. We've already proven that at the beginning of this call. We said, I want to target these people. It says, okay, I will target those people. And hey, guess what? It worked and you're fine because I can see our metrics are stable inside the platform because we're feeding it the metrics. And the other case study was saying, hey, we're going to increase our ad spend. And Meta says nothing's working. Thank God we don't measure what Meta says, because otherwise we would have pulled back and we would have hurt the company and we would have chased our tail like most agencies do. Right. So that's why we measure differently. But this thing can't grow because Meta needs the data. The in-platform metrics are not for us. The in-platform metrics are not for us. I keep saying that. Keeps getting proven, right? Time and time again. Do not look at in-platform metrics. You will trick yourself if you believe your own trick. The schizophrenic in you won. Like,
chasing your tail.
Bingo.
So the two big things here are, first off, make sure that your ad copy and your creative are in harmony with each other in our first example. And secondly, creative diversification does work. However, if you're not feeding the correct data back into the ad platform through first click CAPI imports, you really are sort of stuck from a scale standpoint, and things inside the ads platform is not going to look very good for you. So you have to have the two together, really. And that's the key. And that's the reason why we're doing this special right now, which is when you buy the creative diversification package, where you get all this diversified creative, you get the media buying, world-class media buying from our media buying team, and you get the CAPI imports and Tier 11 data suite alongside of that for a one price. So you buy one, get two free. So that's over at tier11.com/CD. Trying to pay some bills here, John. Let's get to questions, shall we?
Let's do it.
We've only got 16 minutes.
Oh my God.
Look at all these questions.
There's like 10, I can scroll 10 times. Oh my God. All right.
I know. We didn't even get to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I think Thomas from Austria is kind of pissed at us because of that. But anyway, we'll try and incorporate that into some of these questions as much as possible.
Yeah. We're going to have to get to that too.
Yeah.
The part about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, let me just give it two golden nuggets. Number one, Thomas, you look at your sales cycle. If your sales cycle is 10 days long, on the day one, on 10 days before your sale goes live, is when you're going to want to start to restrict your traffic. So think about adding in a TCP, a TROAS. Start at on a small level. Think about kind of holding spend, maybe not scaling. You're 10 days before your sale. When your sales cycle is about 10 days, you want to have those users warmed up and focused on as much as possible before the sale goes live to them. So think about how much prospecting you want to do during your time of sale. Very little. So we'll cover that mostly. But for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of the effort up until Black Friday, Cyber Monday launches, all of your activity now is going to lead into a better one. So you can have really high spend and low sales now, and then have an amazing Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And that's the part where it's going to be very difficult. Is people like your sales may be declining a week before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and your strategy should be, let's add our 20% in spend. Like you should be focusing harder on them. So that's where it gets a little bit more difficult inside of like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But the golden rules I would say is start to restrict traffic at the time, right before the time that your sale goes live. Don't cost cap it so hard or bid cap it or TCP or TROAS so hard that it kills volume. Just use the appropriate level in your account that you've seen does not reduce spend. That's going to be your sweet spot. Up until that point, and then don't try to scale after the sale goes live. Just hold tight with a slight cost cap or bid cap or TCP or TROAS so that it focuses on the users, not bid cap, but cost cap or TCP or TROAS. So it focuses on the people that you're trying to get the sale out to. If you're in Meta, just add the creative to the same campaign. If you're on Google, I mean, Google's like 80% warm traffic anyway, especially for brands. So just make sure you update your creative.
So he's asking about low ticket info products here. Would that same strategy apply? What you just mentioned? Okay.
It's universal. When you're buying a $30,000, RV or $100,000 RV or a low ticket item, if the theory is if you focus on those people during the time of sale and you increase your frequency on people that are wanting to buy, do you think it'll do better? I think so. And so that's the strategy there.
Interesting. Other question for him here is, would you separate EU from the US, Canada, and AU, NZ markets, or run one campaign, one ad set for all regions? Good question.
No, I separate out by geography. So if we remember when the Andromeda launched, we said you really can't do any sort of demographic, psychographic, but you can still do geographic.
Okay, makes sense. All right, let's get to me. I was running VAC for real estate lead generation. Everything was fine. Since changing demand gen, my CTR has increased, CPC has decreased, CPM is about the same, but my lead cost has gone up 6x. And he's got a couple of follow-up questions here. So, same landing pages, same creators, but nothing to do with brings consistent results. Is it worth playing with YouTube sequence or try to test DG, or better to shift to meta? Because Andromeda sounds exciting. It is exciting.
Was the first comment that they... Since changing to demand gen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yes. Yeah. So demand gen, the first thing I would look at when you said change over to demand gen has a lot of like little loosey goosey things that it spends on. So it's like, I want to launch demand gen. Be like, perfect. You want feed, you want feed, you want in stream, you want shorts, you want display, you want Gmail. I mean, it's like tax on everything. So demand gen is not like changing from YouTube to demand gen. That's almost like saying I was running one campaign type and now I'm running 6.
Mm-hmm.
So if your lead cost goes up 6x, the first few things I would look at inside demand gen is only run on the channels that you want. So get rid of display, get rid of Gmail, get rid of feed. Think about feed. Like feed is like, I'm searching on YouTube, things like, best running shoe, and the video is not about a best running shoe. Then if that is in a feed, you pay to show that search engine result of your video as an ad to someone that's looking for something that might be a little bit less relevant. So feed is a huge waste of ad spend. Gmail is a huge waste of ad spend. You get cost CPM, you get CPC for opening the Gmail. So you actually pay to impress and pay to open the Gmail. No one's been to your site since. Still, you still haven't driven any traffic, but now you paid twice for those users. So that was where I would say is it's very important to look at what you're spending on in demand gen. Now, I also know that demand gen is about 50 to 75% warm. So I've never made demand gen work, and I've actually proven, I know it's through Northbeam. So I would say that this is something that no one could really ever prove, but here's my question to you all. And this is going to blow everyone's mind. And most people are going to call me a liar and call me an idiot. And this is the difference between the data and reality. Sometimes the data doesn't match reality. Let me just share this with you all for users of demand gen. I swear it's going to be important, but this is something that cannot be physically possible. Now we're using Northbeam on this because this client's still Northbeam. But if we look at the state range here, which I believe was this time period, if I remember correctly, let's see. Was probably, I have to look at the exact date range, and forgive me for not having it all the way queued to memory. Okay, it was getting, it's very close.
That you can recall this stuff just like off the top of your head is pretty cool.
I know, it's kind of fun. 9th to the 13th. This one here is very good. Perfect. So I think it was the state range here, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay. So this date range here, this is right before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And you know what? I'm going to do first touch just to make it even more fun. Now, this is not a knock. Yeah, right. This is not really a knock against Northbeam, but Northbeam is kind of mirroring the impossibility. So I don't know.
Right.
You can see that this is a perfect scale. I mean, 19% more revenue or spend, 19% more revenue. MER held, NCAC got better. Everything got better. Now, the only thing that we did is we added new creative to Facebook. That is the only thing we did. New creative to Facebook, period. I mean, it was me and Rokas. I know the guy. Like, that's all we did. Amazon got better because they have brand protection there. So when we increase 20% in revenue or spend in Facebook, you get 27% rev in Facebook, and they holding MER and better NCAC, which means the people that are now clicking here are going to go buy by Googling the brand name on Amazon. That comes in at 8x. I said, oh, are you increasing spend and increasing the creative on Meta? Don't worry, demand gen and Google are going to look fantastic. So I said, hey, Google Ads, you don't need to spend that much, but you'll still gain 20% more revenue and 22% better NCAC and 29% better MER. Let's just kick up our e-commerce conversion rate by 35%. Let's do that all with 23% less new visits. Yeah. So wait, 23% less people came and first touched this thing, just decided to smoke them with 35% better e-commerce conversion rate. That's not possible unless it was coming from there. Facebook. So demand gen can somehow just
swirl around with your mouse.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a constellation you were making.
That was my drum roll. But
some kind of trapezoid.
Here's what happens is you're saying my demand gen is tanking. I can increase demand gen by 50% as long as I just feed it data from some other source. So how much is demand gen working for you? This, what I mean by this is in an MMM modeling kind of situation in my brain. If demand gen starts to not perform, yes, it could be that it's running on too many channels. But the second thing is you could have actually lost a organic traffic. And now this thing is just struggling for dear life over remarketing. And that's why your costs are going up. That could absolutely be a scenario. We just saw that right here. So just be mindful of that.
Very important. I mean, Waterboy reference. Tier 11 live from ongoing here. Let's see. What is our next question? We've got a lot of people just saying nice things about you. And
that's nice.
Oh, isn't that great? What ads would you use for generating leads for grease trap cleaning services on Meta?
I would do better. I would actually go to Google and I would do that from an inbound in a really tight radius. Here's my go-to-market plan. If you can't make it work on inbound people looking for you on Google, you won't be able to interrupt anybody's day on Meta and be like, well, those people really like me. So it's like the people that are looking for me won't buy from me. But if I can convince other people who aren't looking for me to buy from me, something's wrong there. The people coming to your store won't buy. Don't run more direct mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a hard thing to explain to some businesses, though. It's like, don't go into the bloody red ocean of the high value keywords or the high cost per click keywords unless you're local.
Yeah.
Really. And you've got like a geographic radius and you've got a good product and you've got a good offer.
Yeah. Dentists near me. Those people never go to dentists.
Never said never. Up to you, and the top is the top. I'm not really sure what that means, but I think that's good. Thomas has a question because Thomas is a long-time listener and a long-time watcher, so we are giving preferential treatment to these people. How do you tell? He's a VIP really here. It's like he pays extra to watch.
Yeah.
In a week. Pays in euros, so that's good in Australia.
Hey,
how do you? Actually, probably not good for us. How do you tell the gatekeeper that you want to retarget the planted audience by writing it into the ad copy?
You really can't.
You can't. Yeah. So we call it our audience again, and like in the very old days, the thing we got punished for. Interesting. There's caveats to this. He might be talking about like the healthcare niche, like got back issues. You know.
So, if you're looking to here's my question is, what is your prospecting frequency? And why wouldn't that be counted as retargeting? That's my question. I think we're thinking of this wrong. You're saying I still want Meta to go back and give me an exact audience that I can create in my own campaign and then tell it to go hit those people. And I don't believe that's actually very possible anymore. It's still there. No. It's just not under your control.
Right.
So if you're
within the audience that you're targeting anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you
Meta decides.
Right. And that's the part too, is here's what's great. And this is how I am saying that people really need to start to adopt this new level because it is something that if we still say, but how do we go back? You can't. You really can't. Like it's not possible anymore. What we have to look at things is, okay, well, if I can't retarget an audience that I want, how do we retarget? And that's actually kind of built into the Andromeda framework. So as an example, this right here technically could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ads to one person.
Right.
Now, did they click on ad number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9?
Just one example, by the way.
One example is coming right from Meta.
Yeah. But
this one here, you're saying how the people that I'm hitting 12 times, how do I retarget them? Like, well, that's not a fair statement. Is if this ad is getting hit by 12 times as an example, because let's say you have one audience that we know is super susceptible that you really have to call them out and then it will re-engage them. Retargeting means they clicked. Re-engagement means they didn't click. You don't even know if they did or not. You can see that on your side. but you can't actually tell Meta to do that. And that is actually happening as a chance. So what the algorithm is doing is saying, I'm going to take your most interested people, and whether they click or not, I'm showing them 10 ads. And it's going to show them 10 ads, and the ads that it shows them is what you're giving Meta. So if you say, hey, I have these 10 people, whether they click or not, if they click, I need to show them that. If they don't click, I need to show them that. That's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
It means, am I getting the right,
Yeah.
getting the right diversified messaging to fully explain my pain point and hook or offer and unique selling proposition and unique value proposition and offers to these people in any succession, regardless of if they clicked? Because 2 clicks versus 6 clicks before sale is not really going to make or break your day, but that's how you have to adopt this new methodology.
It's almost like the old days when there was the e-com ad amplifier, which is something that we engineered 7 years ago, like in 20 in and around that point. It's like you would get people at the top of the funnel who have never visited your site. You would have exclusions. It would work. People who had visited your site, you didn't target. It really did work. But then people who actually clicked in page view or watched a video, you would target them with a different ad. And then maybe somebody who went into view content, saw a product, we would DPA them, or you would show them a different ad, or somebody who added to cart. Like you can't separate that out anymore. Or purchasers. Like if anything, Meta will take all those audiences and say, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do what I want to do.
And it's exactly right. And what's funny is now it's up to the user to decide if they will even be inside the re-engagement. What I mean by this is if we look inside, and I know we're kind of running along, but there's so much more stuff that we have to actually get through too. And I'm not going to go through it all of it right now. But if you look at this as an example, go into your columns and then look at the difference between clicks all.
Yeah.
And then your clicks. Let's do this. Yeah. Clicks all. And then the unique outbound link clicks, and then look at the highest spending ad here. This is clearance. And you can actually see that I have, we could look at the high spending ads, the differences between the clicks and the outbound clicks. Sometimes one has 5,000 compared to 15,000. That's 3X. Then some have 1,700 compared to 8,000. Some have 2,000 compared to 34,000. So you don't see that it's actually going on high and low and outbound clicks. It's actually going not really high and low, but the higher spending ones and below sometimes have 12 times more clicks. Why? Well, the 2,000 versus 24,000 here as an example, that difference of 2,000 and 24,000, because someone took a look at this and said, why is that dog staring at me? Let me click and then read the story about how this dog had multiple tumors and is now being nursed back to life. And now this dog is happy and has 5 more years when they were only given 3 months to live. Did I need to get them to the site to sell my product? No. So I don't even remarket this user because they haven't made it to my site. But next, they're going to see a product ad for me, and I'm going to go from a 377 NCAC down to a 311 NCAC because I said, hey, remember that dog that we nursed back to health? We did it this way. They still haven't been to my site.
Yeah.
So what am I remarketing to? It's not that way anymore. We have cool. These are the Wally fat people. These are the Wally fat people. It's a feed in front of them. They say click, and then it's not there anymore.
It's a new age. It's Wally fat people all over again. We've got a choice. I know we
have so many more. I have to go, everyone. We have to probably do like some sort of community or something because we have like 50 more questions and we don't have enough time to teach 2 different lessons and answer everyone's questions in an hour, everyone.
But we did spend a lot of time on Thomas's question just because he's a
we did, but I also think that everyone could be benefit from that.
Yes, I do think so, 100%. And I'm not going to Austria, by the way. We decided that we're. My wife nixed that because we're going to New Zealand in January now. So anyway, Thomas, next time I will definitely ask for travel advice from you. Thank you so much for everyone coming on and asking questions, engaging. The Tier 11 Ad Lab here, cooking up chaos in the performance kitchen. Check out our creative diversification package over at tier11.com/CD. John Moran, always a hell of a time every Friday, 2:30 Eastern. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.